What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I just finished getting the Supra cleaned up, and man, it is looking so clean right now. Let me try to step out of the way of the sun so you can see it hitting the carbon there. Dude, everything is just looking perfect right now, man. The car is beautiful. But real quick, before we hop into today's video, let me talk about a few things real quick. First off, the carbon has shipped. Now, what carbon, you may be asking? Well, I don't know. You guys are just gonna have to wait and find out. But the carbon has shipped. It should hopefully be here next week at the latest. We'll either throw that on next week or the week after, man. I'm so excited. It should tie everything in together so nicely, man. The second thing, I've still yet to hear anything about the exhaust. Hopefully it'll be here before too long. Fingers crossed anyway. I have no idea, man. Like I said, it was on pre-order. I didn't necessarily get to buy it now, but yeah, man, fingers crossed it'll be here before too long. The car sounds awesome right now, but in startup and in some other areas, there's just too much drone and rasp. I mean, it's to be expected though. It's fully straight piped right now, but yeah, man, once the exhaust gets here, we'll just have to wait and see. And then the third and final thing real quick is I ordered an ethanol testing kit, so I'm super hyped for that too. That should hopefully also be here next week at the latest, so we can go back to E30. I'm just super stoked for that because, as you guys may or may not know, I was on E30 previously, but I did not mix it properly. It was probably like E20 or something like that, so the car was going into limp mode and not acting properly. I mean, when it wasn't in limp mode, it was fine and it was full power and everything, but yeah, I just want to put it back on E without going into limp mode basically. So yeah, as soon as the tester kit gets back in, it's time to go back on E, baby. And then I guess one last thing real quick before we hop into this video, and I just want to say next week's video is one I am so excited for. Like, you guys are just gonna have to wait and see. It's something a lot of you guys have been talking about for a while, and I don't want to spoil it, but things went down and it was fun. Just stay tuned till next time, and yeah, let's move into today's video. So, as you guys probably already know, today we are going to be talking about why I hate my A90 Toyota Supra. Now, I'm just going to be honest right off the bat, I absolutely love this car, but no car, nothing is perfect. Everything has its flaws, and today we're going to talk about some flaws of the 2020 Toyota Supra. So, to start off, I got to go for the obvious one that all of you guys were probably expecting to hear, and that has to do with the fake vents. So, as you guys can see right here, the fake vents that are on the hood, I covered them up with these carbon pieces. It actually looks pretty good. I mean, it still kind of looks strange, but it looks better than a fake vent there anyway. But besides this one, there's also these ones up here. I think you can kind of see it. It might be in a shadow. Of course, on the other side, you got that one. The biggest ones, the ones in the door right here, which I really want to replace this at some point. Sometime this is going to go carbon. I don't know when. It's pretty expensive, and I'm pretty sure it's probably not too easy to install, but I don't know. I've never looked. But yeah, at some point, this is going to go carbon, but for now, it's just a big, ugly, kind of ugly fake vent. And then last but not least, you come around here to the back, and you got these little fake vents right here. You can't really see them, but nonetheless, they're fake vents, and there's not really a point in them. Now, moving along to the second thing I hate about this car, and this isn't one I've heard too many people talk about, if anybody really talk about, and that has to do with the steering wheel right here. So if you'll notice, there's no hole in the bottom of the steering wheel here. It's just filled in, and it's really awkward to grab because I don't know about you guys, but when I had my old car, my Genesis Coupe, like, I would put my hand down here and kind of like grab the steering wheel and turn like that, and you can't do that anymore, and it just makes it so you have to hold the steering wheel in a different position than you're used to. It's not really that big of a deal, but I just find it weird. Like, why would they fill this in with a piece of plastic? Moving right along to the third reason why I hate this car, and this one, once again, is not too big of a deal, and they actually fixed this on the 2021 models, but for some reason, the Brembo brakes on this car don't have any sort of lettering or logoing basically on them. Like, it doesn't say Supra, it doesn't say Brembo, it doesn't say anything. Now, at first, I didn't think this car actually had Brembo brakes, but I looked it up. Google says this car has Brembo brakes, but for some reason Toyota / BMW, whatever you want to say, decided to go without any logos, and it just doesn't really make sense to me because the logoing just adds that extra little cool touch to the brakes and just makes them pop out a little bit more. I mean, obviously they're red, so they still stick out, but if they had the lettering on them, it would just be the extra touch to tie everything in together nicely. And I don't know if I've told you guys this before or not, but I actually have some stickering for the brakes that I ordered. They're in, it's been in for a while. I just haven't taken the wheels off yet, and I don't really want to take the wheels off just to put the stickers on, but they're gonna be thrown on soon, don't worry. So before we move along to the fourth reason why I hate this car, I think you guys deserve a full send. Just throw it in sport mode, start this baby up. All right, we'll get ourselves a nice little pole right here. We're in sport mode, traction is on. We will do a second gear pole. Oh my goodness, man, this thing is just like a roller coaster, bro. It's insane. Oh man. Now, for the fourth reason that I hate my 2020 Toyota Supra, and this is a problem that I only have with mine. I mean, other ones could have this problem too, but basically this is only a problem with mine, and that is my car, as you can see, has 3 holes in the front bumper right here. Now, why does it have 3 holes in the front bumper, you may ask? Well, I got this car from out of state. I'm from Kentucky. We don't require a front license plate here. I got it from West Virginia. They do require a front license plate there, and unfortunately when I picked up the car, there was a front license plate drilled right in here to the front of the car, and I mean, it looks better with the 3 tiny holes there than it does with a giant like black square on the front, kind of throwing everything off. But nonetheless, it still sucks that there is literally 3 holes in my front bumper. Now, I talked to the Toyota dealer and they quoted me $899 to fill those holes, and I just don't believe that. So for now, we're just gonna deal with them. But yeah, that's the 4th reason why I hate this car. Before we move on to the 5th reason, I just gotta say real quick, this is not the first time I've recorded in this spot. Like, this is the 2nd time, and the reason I never came back is because the lady that lives in this house over here like freaks out for some reason when I record here. Like, it's just a public place. It's a church parking lot. But dude, like, I just waved at her, but she was literally standing over there peeking out the door and stuff, man, and she was like hiding behind her. I waved at her and she waved back, but I don't even know, man. Let's go on to the next reason. Now, for the 5th reason that I hate my 2020 Toyota Supra, that has to be there is no center console. Now, I don't know if this is something you guys realized or not, but for some reason this car does not have a center console. Yeah, it kind of looks like this lifts up, but no, this is all you got. You got 2 cup holders and this little square right here. Now, it's not that big of a deal. You still got a decent amount of room to store your stuff in the car. I mean, you can reach just in the back right there where it's a hatchback and just store stuff back here. You got behind the seats, not that there's really much room behind the seats, especially if somebody else uses the seat. You got the glove box, which is also pretty tiny though, and then you got some little pockets in the door like that, and this little pocket right here. But I mean, besides that, man, there's really not too much storage space in this car, and not having a center console kind of sucks. Like, I kept all my important stuff in here in my Genesis coupe. I'd keep my phone charged, you know, the GoPro would sit in there, the keys, pretty much everything would stay inside the center console, and not having one really makes you realize how dirty your car was before, because I don't have all the room to store all the same stuff I had, and yeah, I had to clean everything up. But yeah, that's the 5th reason why I hate this car. Now, the next reason, the 6th reason that I hate this car, and this is not that big of a deal because you can press a button and turn it off, but it is the auto start stop. I know that the EPA or whoever like requires them in cars now to become emissions efficient or whatever, but dude, it is so annoying. Like, you gotta turn it off in sports cars for sure. And the first few times that I was driving this car, like, I would kind of go on like a longish drive, like drive for 30 minutes or so, and then come back home, and I would pull into the driveway and the car would turn off, and it scared the crap out of me every single time, man. Like, I did not know what was going on, and then I realized auto start stop is on. You just got to turn it off and you're good to go. But nonetheless, it is a very annoying feature in a sports car. All right, so before we move on to the next reason, we're down here in Mexico right now. We're in a nice spot. I'm gonna get straightened out. I'm gonna put my hand on the wheel like this, and we are going to oh my god, bro, I wish you guys could have seen that from the outside. I just completely kicked it out sideways, man. I know, oh my goodness, excuse me, I just choked on air, but I know that I'm choking on air right now, bro. What the heck? But yeah, man, I know I just left marks in the road back there. That was actually insane. I don't even know, bro. That was awesome right there. That was the most that this thing has ever slid out, bro. Now, the 7th reason that I hate this car has to do with the lane assist in this car. And like the auto start stop, all it takes is one button, you press it and you can turn it off. But it took me quite a while to figure out what button you had to press to turn it off. But you actually have to turn off traction control right here. And once you got traction control off, it cuts out the lane assist keep thing. And man, it is just the absolute worst feature. Like, say you're driving on kind of a back road like this, and you're going up over a hill, and the lane kind of veers, like it thinks you're going out of the lane, and it tries to throw you off the side of the road. Basically, it is not a lane assist keep, whatever you want to call it. It's the complete opposite. Basically, it tries to throw you out of the lane. Basically, it feels like, man, you can't fight it, and no matter what, it's taking the wheel and it's putting you where it wants you to go. So I highly recommend turning that off if you have a Supra or looking to get one. And yeah, that's the 7th reason why I hate this car. Now, the 8th and final thing that I hate about the 2020 Toyota Supra is probably the biggest problem, I guess, with the car, at least in my opinion, and that has to do with the doors. So everything's nice, awesome, and the car's locked. Let me just go over here to the driver's side and sit down and show you guys what I'm talking about. So actually I'm gonna pop the hood real quick too, because it's super hot out here. And I hear the fan going, and I'm just gonna let it cool off. But yeah, basically the doors, and it's really only the inside of the doors here, and it's so weird, man. Like everything else on this car is absolutely perfect. This guy might pull over and try to help me. Hold on here. He is. That was a cool guy. He thought I just need some help with my car, where I just opened up the hood. That's not the first time that's happened actually, but yeah. So as I was saying, everything in this car honestly is just super nice, man. Like the materials, everything I absolutely love with this car, except for one thing. And that one thing has to do with when you close the door. So you guys just try and listen. I'm gonna close the door and just listen. I don't know if you can hear that, but when you pull the door shut, it just feels weird. Like this is not a very good grabbing point for the door, and it kind of feels like flimsy in a way, I guess, if that makes any sense. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, and it doesn't like feel like the car is about to fall apart or anything, but I mean, on the Genesis, it had like the pole right here you could close it by, and then the door handle. And if you tried to pull it by the door handle, it felt the same way. It just didn't feel right. And if you pulled it by the lever right here, like everything was good. Unfortunately, this car only has one way to close it. I mean, I guess you could grab it up here, but really you're supposed to grab it and close it right here, and it just doesn't feel right, man. It just feels flimsy, honestly. And yeah, in my opinion, that is the worst problem I have with this car, the biggest problem, whatever you want to call it, the thing I hate most about this car, I guess you could say. But really, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're a stickler about interiors and you want everything like just absolutely perfect, maybe this car wouldn't be for you. Now, one bonus thing I hate about this car that I just closed the hood and I'm gonna have to reopen for to show you guys real quick, and that is all the BMW logos on this car. I had to throw it in here. You know, everybody seems to have such a big problem with that. I don't really find it too big of a deal, but yeah, BMW logo right there. We got another one right here, and pretty much almost on every part under the engine bay, under the hood of the engine. Well, I can't talk right now. Under the hood of the car has a BMW logo on it. Like I said, I really don't. I know some people absolutely hate this car because of that, but I honestly find it funny, man. And yeah, if you want to call it a BMW, that's fine, because in my opinion, it's the best BMW they make. But yeah, everybody, that is really going to wrap it up for this one. That is going to conclude why I hate my 2020 Toyota Supra. Now, like I said, most of these things aren't really a big deal. Some of you guys might find them a big deal, so I figured I would share all the things that I dislike about this car in case you guys were looking at getting one for yourself and maybe you wouldn't like some of the things that I mentioned and it's a turn off for the car. But yeah, like I said, next video is going to be insane, man. Make sure you guys stay tuned. I got a whole lot of mods coming in. A bunch of them should be here soon. But yeah, like I said, that's it for this one. If you guys like this video, do not forget to drop a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Peace out. I'll see you guys in the next one.